G'day, my name's Ken Main. I'm going to teach you how to play guitar in a very short time. If you do 15 minutes practice every day on guitar, within 3 to 6 months you should be able to play the guitar quite well and even play in a band, and you can even entertain your friends. So what we're going to do, we're going to teach you how to play guitar, sing, write your own songs and the whole box and dice, and jam along with records at the same time. Alright, so first off, but to get you started, you need to know the basics. And the first thing you need to know about is the guitar. I'm going to introduce you to the guitar. This is the body, the neck and the head. Now these bits here are called tuning keys, but when we become a musician we call them heads for some reason. Then we have the front of the guitar, which is called the face of the guitar. And this bit here is called a scratch plate, and the reason that's there is so that the timber's very soft on most guitars, especially the front of the guitar or the face of the guitar, and if you happen to do that you'd bruise the timber, so put that there to stop you damaging the guitar. Also we have a sound hole here where all the noise comes out. Then we have this bit which is called the bridge, and this little black bit here is called the saddle. Then we have 6 pins across here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're called bridge pins because they stick in the bridge. Now they hold the strings in place, and if you look at the strings going up the other end of the guitar, we have this bit here, which is called the silly part of the guitar. It's called the nut. Then on the front of the neck we have what we call the fretboard, and that's because these little brass things going across the guitar, across the front of the neck, are called frets. Then we have what we call position marks, and they are 3, 5, 7, 9, the double dot's 15, then double dot's 12, sorry, then we have 15 and 17 frets. So in other words, the only even fret marked is a double dot. So the double dot means that the reason that is marked because that is halfway between the nut and the saddle. That's exactly halfway. So if I play this note, which is E, and I play this note here, it's also E. It's an octave higher. Okay, so that means that all the notes here are the same as the notes here. We have 6 strings on the guitar, and they are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The smallest is the youngest, the oldest is the biggest. They get older as they get bigger. And also we have 6 names for these strings, and they are E, A, D, G, B, E. Now the way to remember that is EGB. E, A, D, G, B, E. EGB. Now if you want to, some people remember things by slogans. You can use a slogan starting from the first string. You can go, everybody goes driving at Easter, and that gives you the 6 strings as well. Okay, this part here is called the cutaway. Now that's so that when I want to play down this end here, it's cut away so I can get down to that last fret, and that's the beauty of that part. This guitar is called a steel string acoustic electric cutaway guitar because it has electronics here, and if you look there too, it's got a thing there. Then we have what we call strap pins. This one here, or end pins is a technical name for them. That's an end pin there, and the other one's on the other end of the guitar. They're there so that when you want to put a strap on, they hold the strap in place. But you can call them strap pins if you want to, you know what I mean? You don't have to be technical all the time. Okay, then we have what we call a plectrum. Now the plectrum is this little bit here. It's a piece of plastic, as you can see, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. But I use this one, and it's because it's a JD88, and I find it's good for rhythm, it's good for lead. It's not too heavy and it's not too light, so to speak. Now when you use the plectrum, it's very important that you put it over your finger like so, over your finger like that, then you put your thumb across and you leave roughly 5 mil protruding, as you can see, roughly 5 mil, and your thumb there. So you hold it like that, roll the rest of your hand up in a fist, and then you just strum across the guitar like so. And the beauty is when you strum the guitar, you've got to imagine that you're patting the dog and you don't want to hit the dog. You want to pat the dog. So that's about the way you would pat a dog. Okay. So in turn, then what you do is another way to get it is try not to make the guitar sound. So try to strum the guitar without it sounding. And it's very hard because the lighter you play the guitar, the better the sound you get out of it. Okay, so it's like anything. If you look after it, you treat it well, it plays well. Okay, then we have, now with the position marks, we're going to go into playing the guitar. What I want you to do is, you got 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when someone says to you, go to the 2nd fret, you put your first finger on the 2nd fret, which in turn is there. If they say go to the 5th fret, that's the 5th fret. So you put your first finger there. So when they say a position, your first finger governs that position. So if someone said to me go to the 8th position, I go here, and as you can see my first finger is on the 8th position, not any other finger. Because if I put that finger there, I am now actually on the 5th position because the first finger goes back to there. So now, working on the 5th position, you place your first finger on the first string like so. And as you can see, the string goes through your finger, the top of your finger, not the face but the top. And I've got it rolled up, as you can see, like that. Okay? So put that there and you strum it. And you should get, that's an A note on the first string. So then you run your finger up to the fret and it's behind the fret. It's not on the fret, it's behind the fret. As you can see, once again, I run my finger up to the fret. Strum it. Now if I put my finger on top of the fret, this is what happens. It doesn't sound. You must run your finger up to the fret, like so. And at the back you can see, I've got my thumb roughly just below the centre of the neck and my hand is not holding the guitar. Okay, I'm like that, like that. Now if I do this, it's called choking the turkey or choking the guitar. You don't do it. You've got to put your finger like so. That way when you want to go up to the top you can and come down, okay? So now we're going to do an exercise which I want you to do. I want you to put your first finger there, strum it, 2nd finger, 3rd finger and your 4th finger. And as you can see I've got all my fingers down and they're all behind each fret. Once again, and now this time you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do that till you can get it nice and easy. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you notice I'm tapping my foot at the same time as I count. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm using what they call a downstroke. I'm pushing the string down or bending the string down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you look at this hand here, I'm resting my hand or my wrist on the bridge so that then I can move my wrist and it gives me a position so that when I want to play the guitar I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Rather than hold my hand down like that, I can do it like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you've got to practice that till you can do it quite well. Then I want you to move the 2nd string so you get this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the 1st. Up to the 2nd. Now go to the 3rd. Back to the 2nd. Back to the 1st. Up to the 2nd. Up to the 3rd. Now go to the 4th. Back to the 3rd. Back to the 2nd. And back to the 1st. And you go up again, this time to the 5th fret. Fifth string, sorry. And back down again. This time you go up to the 6th string. And while you're doing this, you're still counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th string. And back down again. And as you can see, my hand is climbing up and down the fretboard like a big spider. Now, that's called getting these fingers so that they can become ballerinas. You have to do this exercise regularly to get your fingers in. And to start with, you'll have this sort of sound. but don't be disheartened. It's just a matter of you got to get calluses on the tops of your fingers so that they do play properly. But practice will get it right. And with it in turn, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't have to get up to the 6th string straight away. You do those 2 strings till you're quite comfortable with them. When you're happy with the way you're doing that, then you move to the 3rd string. And you incorporate going back and up and down. But then when you're happy with the 3rd string, you can go to the 4th string. So now we're going to go up to the 4th string. And back down again. And if you look at the back of my guitar, you can see I've got my thumb there all the time. So when I get up to the 6th string, as you can see, I've still got that space here. My hand's not there, it's there. So when I play that, so that's very important later on, because you don't want to choke the neck. You've got to remember, and another thing is, imagine this is a turkey's neck. The harder you press, the harder the turkey can breathe. So you've still got to let the head breathe. So you're not allowed to squeeze it too tight. Just get it so it's right, and persistence will wear down resistance, okay? Alright, so that's it. So practice that, and we'll leave it at that for the first lesson. I don't want to give you too much knowledge in one, but the second lesson we're going to go into chords, and I'll show you how to do that with some demonstrations on that. But most importantly, you've got 6 strings once again, and they are E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay? And one more thing, just strum the guitar up and down like that too if you want to. Just so you can get a sound. So if you do that thing and this one, and this, for a week, and you do it for a week, once you get over that hurdle, then you're right to move on to the next part. But it's very important, once again, if you want to play guitar twice as quick as anybody else, do twice the practice. Thank you. We'll catch you in the next lesson.